Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video I want to give you a simple tip, maybe a tip on your serve that you've never seen before that's going to help you be looser. Right? If you're someone who has a very tense service motion and people tell you that it's stiff and you can just tell it's not super relaxed, try this. When you lift your racket up, lead with the back of your wrist. You can actually see that my wrist is curled over slightly. Now, it's not curled over actively, it's just relaxed and there's a little curl to the wrist. So as you lift your racket up, lead with the wrist where the tip of the racket is below your hand. See, a lot of players who are super tight, the moment they bring their racket up, they immediately go with wrist extension, which means like laying it back, and the tip of the racket sticks straight up into the sky, and that's what then leads to the waiter's tray. So as you bring your racket up, keep the tip of the racket below your hand. And that'll be shown in a little bit of a wrist flexion, right? So the racket weighs something, you lift the back of your wrist, and the racket is below your hand. From there, though, it's very important that the racket doesn't flip over your hand, but that it flips around your hand. And that's the idea of knocking off the party hat. All right, enough talking. Let me hit a few serves. As you can tell, there are no balls on the other side of the court, which means I did not warm up my serve, which is not a smart thing to do before you push record. But I'm going to lead up with my wrist and then serve. And what it produces is an extremely loose service motion, because instead of being tight and then the racket goes back, I'm loose and then the racket circles around. That second one though, that third one didn't feel very good, but that second one felt really good. Yeah, super loose. Watch this one in slow motion and you'll see that my racket is below my hand as I'm lifting it up. So lift your racket up, leading with the back of the wrist, rather than having the tip of the racket pointing up, which just leads to the waiter's tray. Bring your hand up with the racket below your hand. Then move the racket in over your head, knocking off the birthday hat, and it's going to produce a much looser motion. Use this technique. Film yourself. See if you're lifting up with the wrist leading and not the racket. And if you do, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.